Welcome to the program. In this show, the future of Kenya's Galana food security project after President Uhuru Kenyatta's visit to Israel.
The Prime Minister of Israel has promised that by July this year, he's coming to Kenya. He has also promised that he will be able to visit the Galana-Kulalu irrigation project.
It's worth it. It's crucial. It's important.
The laws.
Kwa nini hatuwezi kufanya hii nyumbani? Ni kwa sababu ya siasa mbaya. Sitaki niwadanganye.
I'm challenging the president to fix. He's the one in charge.
The highs.
As a committee, we want to assure Kenyans that indeed Galana-Kulalu is a very viable project and it will be delivered just in time.
Before we delve into food security issues, here is a look at the significance of President Kenyatta's state visit to Israel. One of the unique aspects of the visit is that this was the first state visit by a Kenyan head of state in 22 years. The last visit was by former President Daniel Arap Moi.
The friendship that we have, the support that we give, the understanding of their existence to them, to the Israelis, is an important area. Yeah?
It's a very historic visit for us. We've had relations for a very, very long time. These relations have been solid. They have never faltered. And they have been constructed on a really solid foundation between Kenya and Israel. I don't think that there's anybody in Kenya today that doubts that this relationship is strong.
During the visit, President Kenyatta met President Reuven Rivlin at his residence in Jerusalem. In his address at the president's residence, President Kenyatta said trade between the two countries was growing steadily.
A number of Israeli companies do business in Kenya in fields from agriculture, construction, communication, infrastructure, water management, as well as irrigation.
He said Kenya and Israel face similar challenges when it comes to threats to security.
Israel's support for the training of Kenya security personnel and the technical support to our security services is something that is very much appreciated.
Israel today, we face the ongoing threat of terror and hatred. We feel the pain together with you. Israel stands together with Kenya against those who pretend to speak in the name of Islam as they murder innocent men, women, and children.
President Kenyatta, on behalf of the Republic of Kenya, Prime Minister Netanyahu.
President Kenyatta also held bilateral talks with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at his office. High on the agenda during President Kenyatta's visit to Israel was cooperation between the two countries in skills and technology transfer in order to boost Kenya's food security through irrigation. Remember, agriculture is one of the key areas of cooperation between Kenya and Israel, and the Galana Food Security Project is co-funded by the government of the two nations. President Uhuru Kenyatta visited some of the greenhouses here in Israel.
This is the way we grow tomatoes, in the greenhouses that are protected, with the insect nets, with the plastic, with the strings, lowering the plants down.
We are here to benchmark what the green lava in terms of their capacity, in terms of technology, and vis-a-vis what they're implementing in Galana-Kulalu irrigation project, the 10,000 model farm.
We're also looking at areas of water technology. As you know, Israel is a water-scarce country, but through desalination, they have been able to turn around their water fortunes to becoming a water surplus country. Kenya has a longer coastline than Israel. Over 500 kilometers of beautiful coastline, all the way from Vanga to Kiunga, that is totally unutilized. All our 6 coastal counties are water-stressed counties. Yet, they have the vast Indian Ocean just next door. If the Israelis have done it, why can't we as Kenyans do it?
After visiting an Israeli settlement or a community farming area known as Kibbutz Kalia that is located in the desert near the northern shore of the Dead Sea, President Kenyatta observed that Kenya had no reason to suffer food deficit.
This is the only way we will be able to sustain our food security needs. So this is a perfect example of what we are trying to do in Kenya. And I think this is what I was saying there. We should make less noise and learn from people like this, because at the end of the day, what we want is to ensure that we have enough food for our people, and not just enough food for our people, but also that we can export as well, like they're doing.
Amid the glaring gaps, analysts say it would just take a sound strategy, enforcement of laws, and commitment for Kenya to catch up.
They are ahead because of strategy. They are ahead because of knowing a problem and putting solutions to it. We do have enough irrigation water in Kenya. Currently, we are irrigating about 125,000 hectares, and we have capacity for doing 1.3 million hectares using the water that is available. There is irrigation and there is drainage. There's some land where we are about 30% of the land already has ready water. 70% of the rest of that land needs some water harvesting and storage. In terms of percentage, we are doing about 2% of the capacity that we have, in precisely 1.8% of irrigation.
The Galana-Kulalu food security project that is funded by the government of Israel to the tune of 7.2 billion shillings after being scaled down by a half from 14 billion shillings is the real taste of Kenya's place in dryland farming. The project is a 10,000-acre model farm for improved maize production. The first test harvest on 500 acres of land was the subject of a parliamentary investigation with the National Assembly Agriculture Committee in 2015, expressing reservations about the viability of the project. But now,
as the committee, first and foremost, we are 100% in support of the Galana-Kulalu 1 million acres.
We sought to find out why the committee has changed its position.
When we received a report, they gave us an average report, an average production of the 16 varieties, which was averaging around 10 bags per acre. And we were not comfortable with that. But in holistic, we had various varieties. The leading varieties had produced more than 39 bags per acre, others 35, others 30 bags per acre, and the worst varieties were producing around 5 bags per acre. So we could not be able to take the average, which initially we were given on 10 bags per acre. But immediately we asked some of these questions. It was explained that the purpose of the 500 acres was to test the best yielding varieties. And then in the second phase of the second 500 acres, the government, through the NMB, went ahead and rolled out only the top 6 varieties.
The second reason, according to the Agriculture Committee, is that the project had too many unnecessary components.
It's not the business of government to set up mills, as which was initially proposed. It is the role of the private sector. The government to come up with PPP to bring in now the private players to set up mills in the farm. And that's why we are 100% in support of the new leadership in the Ministry of Water and Irrigation when they decided to scale down the project to 7.2 billion and concentrate on the core mandate. And the core mandate is irrigation.
However, while addressing 75 students who are undertaking studies in dryland farming in Israel, President Kenyatta said delays in the implementation of the Galana-Kulalu model irrigation farm was due to selfish interests exhibited by politicians in what appeared to be targeted at the members of the Agriculture Committee.
Pahali ambapo watu wako focused Ni nini ambayo hatujaweza kutimiza? Tukiongea kule kwetu Galana, tumekaa karibu miaka 3-4 tukipigana, project hii iko hivi, project hii iko hivi, wajumbe tunataka tupatiwe ndege tuende tukaone. Unaojiuliza wanaenda kuona nini? Kwa sababu hata mtu tu huko ndio mtu awaongeleshe, kwa sababu wanafikiria kuna pesa inatengenezwa pahali. Jameni.
There have been a lot of misinformation out there. We all know there was change of leadership. We have seen the turnover of ministers who have been presiding over in this particular project. The project was midwayed by one Felix Kosgei, who left. Then Aden Mohamed came in as a minister. Then now we have Eugene Wamalwa and his new PS and a new team, even including NIB, people who are supervising the project. And hence, as a committee, we want to assure Kenyans that indeed Galana-Kulalu is a very viable project and it will be delivered just in time for the sake of this country.
This farmer got here 40 years ago and there was no knowledge how to do this. No knowledge how to do it.
The good news from Israel, according to the Cabinet Secretary for Irrigation, is that funding that was in abeyance has now been confirmed.
We had already used about 2.5 billion. So therefore we're expecting about another 5 billion. And part of the visit here was to complete the necessary arrangements for the financing, because we are not only getting Israeli technology, we're also getting Israeli finance through the Israeli bank Leumi.
Commitments have also been made in the area of training.
And we believe that an irrigation institute established in Kenya will give us a bigger number of students because of the limitation of flying students all the way to Israel. So as much as the program will continue of bringing students here, we are also going to establish an irrigation institute in Kenya.
The climax, says Wamalwa, will be the expected commissioning of the project upon completion of the testing stage by the Prime Minister of Israel, an event that is expected to pave the way for commercialization of the project through private investment.
The Israeli company has promised us that they will fast-track Galana. Instead of September, they want to have the model farm ready by July, so that when their Prime Minister comes, he can actually be able to visit Galana. He can be able to come and commission the 10,000 model farm.
You are watching the Chamwada report coming to you right from here in Israel. We take a short break now. When we return...
When you are starting something from scratch, you are building, you build the capacity. You always need to invest a little bit more. But if you're looking at it, not for now, not for next month, go to the future.
Agriculture is not agriculture without the technology part of it.
This knowledge which we have gained here in Israel, it will improve our production in agriculture, more so in dry areas in Kenya.
Stay with us.